I've been getting so many questions on my everyday jewelry and people telling me they love it, asking where it's from. I've never done a jewelry tour before, so I'm gonna rapid fire run you through everything right now. Disclaimer, all of this jewelry is expensive. It is real. I wear it every single day. I shower in it. I don't want it to tarnish. I do wear and switch out pieces all the time with different outfits from like Amazon. This is just the stuff, again, that I wear every single day. Starting with my earrings, all of these diamonds are from Blue Nile. The one in my first hole is 2 carats, then this one is 1 carat, and then this one in my third hole is 3/4 of a carat. I'm going for like a night out. I will switch out this one with just like a gold hoop or something else. My Van Cleef that I've worn every single day since I bought it. It is the mother of pearl single motif. This is very delicate, so I will say I do try to take this off when I shower. Literally will unclip it, set it on my bathroom counter, take a shower, dry off, and then put it right back on. And I definitely have worn it in the water a good amount of times, but you're not really supposed to. And then I don't even know if you can see, it's so thin, but I have this little stacker kind of choker necklace that's from Gorjana. I hope this is focusing. These 2 bracelets right here, this tennis bracelet and then this bangle with the little different shaped diamonds, are both from Janet Heller Fine Jewelry. They actually just made a bunch of diamonds for the Olympians. They made Simone Biles that goat necklace, if you saw that. This tennis bracelet is from Brilliant Earth. I'm trying to spread these out so you can see them. So sorry about that, but these 3 in the middle are all Forever bracelets, so they were zapped onto my arm. All from different places. I cannot remember the name of anywhere, but I know like Catbird in Soho does it. Now for my rings. And this hand, sorry, my fingers look really ugly right now, but I have 3 of the Cartier love rings. This one in the middle is the thicker one, and then I have 2 of the thinner. And I have the Justin Claw, I think is how you say it, the nail ring, also from Cartier. This is the thinner version. I tried on the thicker one and it looked really clunky and weird on my finger. As for this hand, this ring is from Majuri. I'm not sure what the stone is. I've been wearing this for like 2 years at this point, or really, really long time. This covers my flame tattoo because my tattoo is really fucking ugly. All 3 of these diamond rings are from Blue Nile. And then this ring, people kept swiping up on my Instagram story and being like, oh my God, is that an engagement ring? Like, bitch, no. It is a tu et moi or whatever, like the you and me kind of ring. I just thought it was really pretty. It's from this brand. I think it's all right. I'm not sure how to say it, but yeah, it's really cute. I am not a jewelry connoisseur, okay? So if I said any of the terms wrong and it wasn't really like a whatever, if I fucked anything up, so sorry. This is, to the best of my knowledge, all of my jewelry. If you know, you know, I got punched in the face, head, whatever you want to call it, almost 6 months ago at this point, okay? It was March. I get some forehead Botox in like my 11s and stuff, and since then it has completely faded and I've gotten it touched up. Still to this day, I got hit like right here, okay? When I raise my eyebrows, do you see those fucking lines? No movement on this side. Oh my fucking God. This man like permanently fucked up my Botox for life. I'm literally gonna sue him for emotional distress, not from the trauma of the actual incident, but for the lifelong issue that he has caused me. Before anybody takes it too serious, I'm aware that the lines are not that bad. It's just like a little thing I notice in the mirror and I just wish it was even. I really don't like the unevenness. I guess I could just not get Botox, whatever. I'm obsessed. I have very sensitive skin and no beauty filter. This is what my skin has been looking like, and I attribute it all to the products that I use. I am on spironolactone, which has completely cleared me of cystic hormonal acne, but I will still break out depending on if the products I'm using are irritating my skin. If you're like me, here's what I've been using. First up, a gentle cleanser. These are my 2 favorites, the CeraVe and the La Roche-Posay. Both hydrating cleansers. They remove your makeup so well and they don't do too much. Like, they're just cleaning your skin, that's it. Next, this is like liquid gold. It's the Dr. Diamond's Medicine Plasma Serum. I've been putting this on every morning and every night, and I've seen such a difference. My skin looks so much bouncier and brighter. At night, I also follow it up with the Dr. Diamond's Medicine Emulsion, but it's morning and I don't like to do too much with skincare. I'm not trying to use 87 million products. I like to keep it very simple. Again, that's what I attribute to my skin not breaking out. I like to use a face mask like once a week, but you don't need to be using 87 products on the daily. This is my favorite moisturizer of all time from Peter Thomas Roth. It has hyaluronic acid in it. So if you have dry skin, it's literally a drink of water for your face. I don't really plan on leaving my house much today, so I'm not gonna use this, but any day that I'm even gonna go outside for like 30 minutes, I love to use an SPF. This CeraVe one is so gentle, so simple. You can just replace your morning moisturizer with this and just use that instead. I feel like my under eyes keep getting more and more hollow, which is really bothering me, and this is my favorite under eye cream. It's the Banana Bright. I just feel like it helps brighten everything so nicely. Also, if you're planning on putting on makeup, it makes your concealer go on way smoother. For lips, I love a lip stain that you just kind of put on, leave for like 10 minutes and wipe it off, and your lips look so pink and good all day. Okay, you just like peel it off. I don't know, like that. Now my lips have such a nice tint to them, and I can literally just put on the Laneige mask in Gummy Bear. If you know, you know. Like, are you actually fucking kidding me? And it's just the Laneige mask. And that's literally it. I could throw on a little bit of concealer, a little bit of eyebrow gel. I'm good to go for the day. Listen, I'm a Maxxinista at heart, okay? This is not an ad. I just love TJ Maxx, but I was literally not expecting to find my whole fall wardrobe when I walked in the other day. They had so many amazing bags and brands for such good deals, but I was looking for sweaters and I got them. Rapid fire, let's try them all on and see what I should keep, what I should return. Cashmere sweater. I think blue looks really good on blonde. It's extra large, so I wasn't sure about it, but I like the oversized fit. I'm gonna keep this. Classic white Burberry button down. Obsessed with this. Definitely keeping. This Simkai sweater. I love this. The neck. Oh my gosh, there's like buttons on the sleeve. Too good. Like, can you believe this was at TJ Maxx? Got two of these cashmere boat neck sweaters. Such an easy basic. Keeping both. Argyle sweater with gold buttons. Love keeping. Trying on a bunch of turtleneck sweaters with a full face of makeup should literally be an Olympic sport. This fall, I really envision myself wearing a lot of brown suede, caramel, warm kind of colors. And this brown cashmere sweater is the perfect basic. So cute. The tags are making the neckline weird, but this one feels really warm and soft too. Okay, finally, this is styled terribly, but this is a Vince really thick and warm button down long kind of cardigan jacket moment. Does it have pockets? Oh, right here. I feel like it's the perfect thing to just kind of throw on. You could wear it open, closed, whatever. This is not sponsored. I spent a lot of money, but they were all good deals. Love you, TJ Maxx. I just came home from the city to a bunch of PR and my dogs are gonna lose it. She's already losing it. How does she know? Kristen S sent dog versions, like dog toy versions of their shampoo and conditioner. Oh, she stole it. Oh my gosh, you like it? I need to take the tag off of it. Also, you can have one too. You want that one? Oh yeah. Here you go. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow. Apparently she has no manners, but I guess it's National Dog Day, so happy National Dog Day from Kristen S. I used to use this shampoo and conditioner all the time, and I honestly don't know why I stopped using it. It smells so good, so I'm really happy to have this again. Just finished Pilates and I'm starving, so you know what that means. Brown swamp. Okay, a chicken Caesar wrap could hit right now. Or a poke bowl. This looks really good. I've had this one before and it is delish. Okay, I think we're gonna go with this tuna salad. Reed's family is visiting us right now and I feel like they would like these muffins. I'm so excited right now. Pour a little bit of the dressing. The salad was $26, so it better be fucking good. The only thing I have to say, I wish the tuna was a little bit raw. And there's some like mandarin oranges in there. I highly recommend. I just absolutely downed this salad and I got like 8 stains on my pants. The muffins aren't for me, but we're still gonna try. But I have no idea why I grabbed it like that. Really good. Hi guys, today we are going thrifting and antiquing for my new apartment, but obviously for me to get through anything, I need a coffee before. You already know I'm obsessed with and use Califia Farms cold brew and almond milk every single day. Their creamers are also the best. The caramel macchiato is my favorite. I took my coffee on the road and we headed over. I found this leopard chair that I really liked. Found some cool glasses, some shoes, coffee break in between each store, obviously. Grabbed some lunch and I ended up finding this old Subway sign that I thought would look so good in the new place. You see this Aperol Spritz? Very demure, very mindful. She's not too red, she's not too light. She's very big, very juicy, very mindful. Oh. I don't know what the hell is going on with my package situation at my house, okay? Because I keep getting notifications that say, oh, your package has been delivered. It's not delivered. And then this morning, all of this shit was just sitting at the end of my driveway, not in front of my door, at the end of my driveway. So fucking weird. Regardless, we're gonna open all of it right now because I don't know what's inside. Let's go for this big boy. All right, it's from La Rue and they make amazing shoes. Wait, how adorable. First of all, this is the best. Is this Whispering Angel? Oh, it's Whispering Angel. They put the shoe whisperer on it, which is so funny. Whispering Angel is my favorite rosé, and I'm not even a huge rosé person. And these shoes are stunning. And I think these are like little boxer shorts. Adorable. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's a fucking shoe. Oh, what is it? Oh my gosh. Oh wow, okay, it's a lipstick. These feel luxe, these feel rich. I think I like this color the best. It's kind of giving Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. Also, I just got back from Pilates. I'm aware I look fucking awful. Ooh, I think it's a bunch of jewelry from Brinker and Eliza. Oh, this charm necklace. Oh my God, that's insane. This chunky gold bracelet, matching necklace. These are so sick. This bracelet too. These are so beautiful. Ooh, I think this is from the bar. They always come through with the packaging. This ribbon is so pretty. Oh my gosh, how cute. It's a little stony clover bag. I think these are some new colors. We have this yellow and gray and blue and white. I cannot wait to wear these in the fall when it gets a little cool. Wait, you guys are gonna freak the fuck out about this, okay? These are Skechers and you might be like, Hallie, are you kidding me? Tell me that's not a cute ass shoe. This sage color, I feel like this is really cute and like a cool dad sneaker. Wait, these look so good. Cookie butter, vanilla caramel, that's right up my alley. And sweet cream. Finally, I'm so excited whenever I get a package from Set Active. This plum colored, really cropped little short sleeve top and some matching yoga pants. Same colored sweatpants and zip up hoodie. I feel like this will all be so great to mix and match. That's such an exciting PR haul. I'm literally obsessed with everything and thank you so much to all of the brands. Today, I'm going to be getting ready while telling you the story of how I got my substitute teacher fired in 5th grade. Little less than halfway through my 5th grade year, my teacher had a stroke in the middle of class. Very, very upsetting. She did live, but she was obviously no longer able to continue teaching our class for the rest of the year. Our whole class was very upset by this, obviously, but the school had to find a long-term substitute to take her place because we couldn't just stop going to school. Got assigned this long-term sub, and within the first day, you could tell she was one of those teachers that literally just hates kids, and you're like, why are you a teacher if you hate children? She clearly did not like any of us from the start, and we were a very well-behaved, good class. We were 5th graders, so obviously we were a little crazy, but nothing out of the ordinary. One day, about a week into her being our substitute, our class was talking a little too much when she was trying to get us to quiet down. This woman literally looks at all of us and just yells out, "No wonder your teacher had a stroke. I would have one too if I had to teach all of you." Which now, looking back, like what, 15 years later, I have to say, it's a little bit funny. Like, she kind of ate us up. But obviously, that is an extremely inappropriate thing to say to a bunch of 11-year-olds. Obviously, all of us are very upset and offended by this because we're like, this woman literally just told us that we are the reason that our teacher had a stroke. And then I'm sitting there feeling guilty. I'm like, oh my God, was my like yapping a little too much the reason that my teacher had a stroke? Like, what the fuck? A lot of us go home, obviously, and tell our parents what she had said. So collectively, all of our parents decided that woman should not be teaching our children if she's going to say something like that to them. So a lot of them got together and voiced their concerns to the principal. Obviously, I'm not sure exactly what was done, but I would assume that same night the principal had a very serious talk with her. So the next day we come into class, she's still our substitute, but she's not speaking to any of us, okay? We all sit down quietly and we're looking at her like, what is going on? Substitute literally points at my one friend and she says, come up to the front of the class. And I would assume my friend's mom was kind of the main proponent in speaking to the principal. I think she voiced her concerns the loudest of everyone. So that's why the substitute decided to single her out. She hands my friend a tube of toothpaste and she says, squeeze this out onto the projector. If you know where this is going, this is a common life lesson that they do in elementary schools a lot. Basically, once she has her squeeze the toothpaste out onto the projector, she then tells her to put all the toothpaste back in the tube. It's obviously impossible to get all of the toothpaste back into the tube. And it's supposed to be symbolic of spreading rumors, how if you say something about somebody, you can never take it all back. The same way, if you squeeze all the toothpaste out, you can't get it all back in the tube. Substitute teacher points to the toothpaste that's still on the projector and she looks at all of us and she goes, this is what you all did to me. She goes, you've spread a rumor about me, you've damaged my reputation, and you cannot take it back now. We're all sitting there like, babe, what? First of all, it's not a rumor. Second of all, why are you beefing with 11-year-olds? Like, maybe take accountability for saying that. No. She just tried to gaslight us and say that she never said that. Safe to say, I don't know what happened past that. She scared me. I didn't say anything to my parents because I was like, oh my God, she's saying I spread a rumor. But I walked into class the very next day day, and she was not our substitute anymore. Although she wasn't a good fit for our class, I do hope she's doing well, and I do hope that she found a class that she was able to substitute for that she did not hate. Okay, I work out every single morning, like pretty much 7 days a week, with the exception of if I have something kind of crazy going on. And for most of my life, motivation wise, that seemed extremely unattainable. Like if I was getting myself to work out 2 days a week, that was a win. I hated working out on my own at the gym because I was lazy, and after like 15 minutes, I would just give up. I tried so many workout classes and I just never really enjoyed them until I found Reformer Pilates. Hear me out. I tried like a Barry's boot camp, okay? I do not enjoy getting up at 7 a.m. and just getting screamed at and having to sprint on a treadmill. I'm never going to. I know some people say, oh, it's such a stress relief to like, you know, go sprint and throw shit around and lift heavy weights. Okay, that's never gonna be me. I leave feeling more stressed. And then on the flip side, yoga felt a little too slow and a little too boring for me. Like I was just kind of like, oh my God, looking at the clock, when is this over? Reformer Pilates literally changed my life because it is so calm. It's so zen in there. It's such a nice way to start your morning. It's only 45 minutes, at least where I go to New York Pilates, but you get a good workout. You get a good burn. Like my muscles after are like, ooh, but because you're just isolating like one muscle at a time and burning that out, and then you switch to a different one, you're never really doing like crazy cardio and you don't sweat, which is amazing for me because I do love a core power yoga. I like going to that like maybe once a week, but for my hair washing schedule, I'm not going to core power yoga every single day. I want to wash my hair one time a week. That's when I'll do my core power class. Reformer Pilates, you could put on a full face of makeup, go do the class, and you'll walk out looking the exact same, literally not a single drop of sweat. But you still get a good workout. You get a good burn. Obviously, it's still important to get cardio in. Go on a light little walk with your dog. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything. That's just what I do. I'm telling you, it's actually an enjoyable way to start my day, and I've just built it into my morning routine where I can't go without it now. Also, before anybody twists my words, nobody needs to work out 7 days a week. I'm just saying I've finally found a workout that I really love and enjoy going to, and I want to do it every single day. If you only go 1 time a week, 2 times a week, that's still great. You do you and what works best for you.